Did you start this quarantine being super bored, making dalgona coffee and super lonely dance TikToks, but now you're suffering mentally and emotionally because everything about studying or working from home is overwhelming you? Hi. Well, this podcast is for you, me, and everyone else who doesn't have a clue on how to live this human life on this confusing planet. I'm Chez, your host for the How Do You Even Human podcast, available now on YouTube and on Spotify. And today we will be talking about how to cope with studying or working from home. I can't guarantee you that you'll get higher grades or you'll get a promotion in your work or organization. Maybe that'll happen to you, maybe not. But what I can guarantee you is that you'll have less stress in your lives right now that we're in a pandemic and everything about 2020. Yeah, it's just I want this year to end already, okay? Problem number one about studying or working from home is Zoom or video call fatigue. Yes, it is real. It is real and it has been said to be real by science, and it's because we don't have social cues anymore. In communication, we call this nonverbal cues, and it constitutes 70 to 80% of our communication. I forgot the exact number. And without it, we get so tired analyzing people, and we feel like we're talking to a robot or a wall because we lost 70 to 80% of our communication. So it's really tiring us. And also the extra lag of when your internet or your Wi-Fi is fluctuating is extra frustration, yes. And one solution to that is every 20 minutes when you're in a video call, look up, look to a wall, and just look to it for 20 seconds. And it just removes the eye strain that you get from staring at the screen with the light that it emits. It removes that strain from your eyes. Another is that if you have an area near you where there's a lot of nature, trees, plants, or if you have, just a view of the sky, just stare at that, because green or blue or colors that are related to nature calms your eyes down, and that releases the fatigue of being in your screen, being staring at your screen for more than an hour. And next is, if you are in charge of the meeting of your video call, have icebreakers. Just reminding people that we're still here to have fun, that we're not alone, we're not robots studying or working from home. We're not talking to screens, we're talking to people, and we're here to have fun, and we still have a community. Icebreakers are the way to do that. And another is, if you are still in charge of the meeting, just changing up your activity every 15 to 20 minutes is a good thing, so that people are less bored. And one way you could do that is for 15 minutes you could do an introduction or a check-in, and then the next is you can have a game, and then the next 15 minutes you could have a group discussion, and the next 15 minutes is you can have a PowerPoint discussion. Another, you could have another group discussion or game, and that just really relieves the mundanity of being on your screen for more than an hour. Problem number two of studying or working from home is the passivity and mundanity of it. Before the pandemic, every day we meet people we know and we don't know. There's always something new. We get out of our homes and there's always a new environment and things happen that we don't really expect. So our life becomes exciting every day, and now time's just passing by and we don't really know what day of the week it is anymore, and we lost our sense of time and living our life. So one solution to that problem is just doing something new every day that you enjoy. Maybe if you love films, watching a film, or if you love music, learning a new instrument, or if you're a computer nerd, you can learn how to code, or if you love languages and learn a new language. I think just having something new every day just breaks the passivity of pandemic life. Number 2, and this concept is by Tony Robbins, who's a very prominent guy in the self improvement industry. I think he's a life coach, and that is changing your state. Now, what is this concept? It's modifying your physiological or physical state in order to affect your mental or emotional state. And one way to apply changing your state, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, it's smiling for a minute. Just signals your brain, and do this in front of a mirror. It just signals your brain, oh, okay, we're happy right now. Okay, um, looks like we're smiling. Oh, like, okay, we're happy. And another is straightening your posture, especially if you're working, because if you just slack off and you're not, it doesn't tell your brain that you're in work mode. So straightening your posture tells your brain, okay, we're gonna work, we'll be alert, and we'll be productive. And next is every 30 minutes, if you've been working for something, for if you've been just sitting around, stand up and then move around or dance, put in your favorite song and just move around. It breaks the passivity of your body. It releases that tension of just sitting down. It's the same idea of, I don't know, our little siblings, they've been on their iPads for 30 minutes, and then they suddenly jump up and dance around for some reason. And that's the idea of just moving after you've been sitting around for 30 minutes or more. And the last about changing your state is finding something that makes you laugh. Laughter has so much psychological benefits. It makes your life longer. And this also sends, happy signals to your brain. So yeah, changing your state is a great way to break the your current state of passivity and mundanity in life. And problem number 3 of studying or working from home is the opposite of being numb and passive, and that is being overwhelmed and overstimulated by everything that's happening right now. You know, today, in the recent times, we don't have people or situations reminding us what to do. Now I could actually physically feel my brain getting clogged and getting blocked, like it can't process new information, and I could actually feel it getting heavier, that I actually need to lie down, you know. And it's because we don't have a work life balance or distinction anymore. The line is blurring. 1 minute we're in a Zoom call, and then the next minute our mom is calling us to wash the dishes. Or if you are a mom, you know you're in a meeting and then the next thing you know your child is crying and you have to tend to that. It's just overwhelming. My mom, she's having a hard time because she's balancing housework and helping my siblings because they're not really that knowledgeable with these like online learning management systems. So it's just really hard for everyone right now. And a solution to this is really just having a good time management routine. I have a video about all about time management and productivity. I talk about owning your time in different principles when it comes to time management and productivity, different tools and tips that you can use in order to that you can actually apply in your life right now to organize your life even more. And just having a schedule or routine to organize your life just removes the stress that you're experiencing. And number two, it's to declutter your mind, a mental reset. Now, I could put this into an analogy like that one drawer. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but having that one drawer wherein just dump everything, maybe your plastics or your Tupperwares. Yes, Asian households, I'm looking at you. And you can only organize what's happening inside. You could organize that chaos only by removing everything and then putting it back in an organized manner. And you can do that with your brain. When I think of mental resets, the best way to do it is to travel, but you can't really travel right now because a pandemic is going on. So, what I do is that I work out, and working out already proven to have both psychological and physical benefits, and it sends endorphins, the happy hormones, to your brains. And the thing about working out is that it's more physical. It's less mental, cognitive power. When I work out, I can transfer my mental stress to physical stress, and that removes the tension from my brain and transfer it to my body. And it's just a really good mental reset for me, especially when I do weightlifting. You know the stress is in my body now, not in my brain. And if you're not a workout, you're not an active person, you don't have time for that, a meditating just for 5 minutes, it won't take much of your time every day, declutters your brain. It makes you more hyper aware of everything, and it increases your focus because you're having that mental reset for your brain. And yeah, I just love meditating. It's a really calming thing for me, so it also lessens my stress for that day. And last thing about mental reset is journaling. And one method that I do that I learned from an acting class is brain drain. If your brain is clogged and you feel like you're not processing anything anymore, grab a notebook or a piece of paper and for 20 minutes write everything. Don't stop. And that allows you to process everything. It removes the information from, not really removes, but it transfers the information from your brain to a piece of paper, so you can visualize it and you can process it more. And problem number 4 is we don't have human engagement anymore. Humans are social beings, and there have been studies that being around people gives you that social high. Seeing people who are also doing work makes it motivates you to also be productive. Back in university, I would go to my library and I would like it if it's actually full because like I see people working and that motivates me to work too. And now, I'm alone and I'm just free to do whatever I do. So I don't have that social high anymore. So a solution to that is, I don't really recommend this, and please do this only if you could follow the social distancing guidelines and you could wear a mask, and if you're actually like really desperate, and that's going to coffee shops. Being around people who are also working helps you be more productive. And if you can't do that, and I think this is the better option, is just being in Zoom calls or video calls with people wherein you don't have to say anything, you're just working together. Just seeing each other work motivates you, gives you that social high of being productive, and um it tells your brain that everyone is in working mode, so you should be in working mode too. Now, problem number 5 of working or studying from home is your physical environment or atmosphere not being conducive to working, learning, or studying, all that stuff. If we're like beside our bed, all we want to do is sleep, right? We just want to do um something else that's not work related or school related, and that's because we don't have that mental distinction anymore from home or work. At home, we eat, we sleep, we rest, we do chores, we do all that stuff. And at work or at school, we learn, we meet with people, we socialize, we have meetings, we become productive. And now we don't have that mental distinction. We don't know when to work or where to work. So some ways wherein you can signal to your brain that, okay, I'm in work mode, is one, changing your clothes. If you feel physically in your body that, wow, okay, I'm dressed up for work, then sends you a signal that, oh my gosh, I'm in work mode, okay. And this is really common with study YouTubers, so I highly suggest this because this is working with people. And number 2 is to reduce your distractions if you can. And I know this is not an option for some people, sadly, and it's being away from your bed or it being away from your immediate reach. Just, it lessens your tendency to just sleep. And also, um if you could put your phone away from your immediate reach, locking it, putting it in another room, putting it in a drawer, just, it reduces interruption to your work. And problem number 6 is something we can't really do anything about, and it's technical issues. When your internet or your Wi-Fi is fluctuating, or your laptop is giving up on you when you're editing a video. Oh my god. We can't really do anything about it. So having just, increasing your patience, that's a good way. And another is, if you're in school or if you're in work meetings, ask if you can record the lecture or the meeting, so that you could just watch it whenever you need to. And if you are the host or the teacher, having a point person just to jot down the minutes of the meeting, or the summary of everything, gives access to the people who have technical issues. And the last problem of remote working or learning is the uncertainty and anxiety of everything. Right now, everyone's everyone's mental health is suffering, and um everything's just overwhelming us, and now we don't have our friends physically to help us. We can't experience physical socialization anymore because we do have to distance from each other, and the stress of the pandemic just being around us gives us that anxiety. Or if you've already lost someone due to the pandemic, that's extra grief for you. And there's no one big solution to this. Everyone has their different ways of coping with their own mental and emotional problems. And I hope you can do what works best for you. So I'm just gonna give you this tip, and this is really general, just to help you get through the day. And that is, rather than being positive, be present oriented. If you just tell yourself, everything is okay, I'm feeling happy, when your body and your brain is telling you that you're stressed and you need to stop, and everything in your life is really going down, you're just lying to yourself. And that's one of the worst mistakes that you can do for self-love and self-care. So just being in the present makes you more aware of everything. You can process everything better, and in return you'll act better, and you'll respond to any situation better, and you become more adaptive to anything that comes your way. Maybe, okay, not everything, but at least you can work with what you have and with what's happening right now. If we dwell in the past, we become regretful, we'll miss it. If we think too much about the future, we become anxious, we're scared to live. And just living in the moment and addressing the problems of now just leads you to a more meaningful and a happier and less stressful way of living. And isn't that the goal, guys? Yeah, that's definitely the goal. So that's all my problem solution bits of information when it comes to remote learning or remote working. But note that all of these problems and solutions are in the individual level, stuff that you could apply to yourself because you are in control of yourself. You know, really, the real solution to this is holding our governments accountable and demanding better government governance, and demanding an actual effective pandemic pandemic solution plan, right? Oh my gosh. That's really the ideal, or not even ideal, that's the realistic solution to this nonsense, okay? The bottom line is that to be a better human, stay at home, wear a mask, register to vote, demand better governance, and take breaks, because you deserve it. This is the How Do You Even Human podcast. Thank you for watching, and we will be chatting again in the next episode. Bye-bye, or ever.